how much input as executive consultant Gene Roddenberry had?
Gene Roddenberry, after the first Star Trek movie, I think more or less came to an agreement with Paramount that he would not be involved in the second Star Trek movie and later in the third, fourth, and so on. There was the kind of formal notion that you would meet him and kiss the ring, so to speak, but that he was strictly in a kind of an advisory capacity. He was a sort of in and on three. And my initial recollection, and this goes to show you how funny memory can be, was that he and I had very little contact at all. That I met him, and I didn't remember anything much after that. Recently, when I was back at my alma mater, the University of Iowa in Iowa City, where my papers reside, I was shown a lengthy exhibition of contentious memoranda between Mr. Roddenberry and myself about this script, in which I behaved in my usual intemperate fashion. Not as bad as what happened between us on Star Trek 6, where we really did come at loggerheads, and I don't think I behaved very well. It's in the book. Which he does have available here, by the way. Anyway, I just don't want to belabor. But so yes, we had some contact, but not enough for me to really remember until I saw these memoranda. And I guess I won, because I don't remember different. And by the way, feel free to walk out when you are bored.
Quentin Tarantino has said that this is one of his favorite films. How do you feel about that? Have you ever discussed that with him? And how do you feel about his effect on the industry in the past 40 years?
Well, first of all, I'm very pleased when somebody says it's one of their favorite films to begin with. I immediately decide these are people with enormous refinement and taste. Secondly, there's a lot of Quentin Tarantino films that I think are pretty wonderful. I remember having a conversation with my friend Michael Phillips, who's one of my best friends, who produced Sing and Taxi Driver and Close Encounters, and we both saw Pulp Fiction, and we were having lunch. And he said, "What did you think of the movie?" And I thought the movie was terrific, but I didn't know what it was about. And he said, "It's about how we're all bit players in each other's lives," which I thought was a perfect answer. I think he's an exciting filmmaker. I don't like every movie. I made it through 40 minutes of Inglourious Basterds, and I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. So I gave up on it. You got to pay these bills.
I understand. Okay. I was 9 years old when I saw my first Star Trek film, and it was Star Trek 6. And it's really one of my favorites. I think it was great to start off with. If I start off with Star Trek 5, maybe. But I'm just wondering, how did you decide to come back after 3, 4, 5 to direct by other people and come back and do 6?
Very quickly, after Star Trek 2, they asked me to do 3. And I said, "What is 3 going to be about?" And they told me, and I said, "I don't know how to do Resurrection." So I thought, if you're going to kill him, kill him. And don't make it a dry hustle over a lot of people who've gotten all worked up about this and then say, "Oh, just kidding." as Bucksworth stayed. I really wanted no part of it. I didn't know how to do that. On Star Trek 4, I suddenly got a call out of the blue from my friend Dawn Steele, who was running head of production at Paramount, saying, "We need you in a big hurry. We have a problem." And the problem was that Harv Bennett and Leonard Nimoy had made up the story for Star Trek 4. And I think they also asked me to be involved in that, and I couldn't. I was doing another film or something. But suddenly I get this call saying that they had thrown out the script that they had written for 4 based on that story and wanted to start over, but they were going into production really, really fast, and, you know, you remember what you did with 2, blah, blah. And there was something I wanted Paramount to buy me, and they said, yes, we'll buy it, don't do anything. Come in here. And these were all friends of mine. So I went in and I sat down and listened to Harv and Leonard tell me the story about the whales. And I said, and Harv said, I'll do the parts in outer space, and you do the part on Earth. And I remember saying, do they have to go to San Francisco? But this is the same movie as Time After Time. It's a time travel movie. They wind up, can't you go to Paris? And they harumphed about that and said, no, it had to be San Francisco. So I wrote the parts on Earth in Star Trek 4, starting with judging from the pollution content of the atmosphere, I'd say we reached the late 20th century, and until they go back up and, you know, everybody remembers Rose Park and all that. Don't tell me you're from outer space. No, I'm from Iowa, just working on it. All that stuff. You guys like to have it. And I had a lot of fun because I like to write comedy, but I don't get a chance to do it very much. And I put in a lot of things in Star Trek 4 that I had cut out of Time After Time. The kid with the ghetto blaster on the bus was originally in Time After Time. He was on the street corner, and nobody gave him the Vulcan nerve pinch, but it was the same idea, stuff like that. Then they asked me if I wanted to do 5. And I said, what's that about? And they said, the search for God. And I didn't see how that was going to end. Well, I was going off to India with Pierce Brosnan to do The Deceivers, so I couldn't be around for it anyway, so I didn't do that. And I was living in London about a year later, and Frank Mancuso and Martin Davis took me to lunch at Claridge's, always nice, and said, listen, we're not happy with going out with 5. We would like to go again. Would you come back for a last one with the original cast? And I said, okay.